Are you constantly dealing with bloating, gas, or that annoying feeling of indigestion? You're definitely not alone. Most of us quietly accept those symptoms as normal until they start messing with our mood, our energy, and our confidence. What if I told you the culprits are hiding in plain sight on your kitchen shelves? Your gut is the command center for everything: immunity, energy, even how clearly you think. When it's out of whack, you feel it everywhere. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 15 everyday foods that quietly trip your digestion, trigger inflammation, and throw your microbiome off balance, and simple swaps that help you feel better fast. A few of these will absolutely surprise you. Welcome to Better Inside Daily, where small, smart changes inside your gut transform how you feel every single day. If you want science-backed, hype-free tips that actually work in real life, you're in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll know the biggest gut wreckers, what they do inside your body, and the easy upgrades that give you a calmer, happier digestive system. Let's start with the ones that feel obvious but still sneak into daily routines. Fried foods. Think fries, crispy chicken, onion rings, the delicious stuff that tends to sit like a rock afterwards. The combo of high saturated fat and damaged oils slows stomach emptying and makes your intestines work overtime. That's why you get the heavy, tight feeling and the "why did I do that?" regret. The easy upgrade is switching to baked or air-fried versions and using oils with a higher smoke point in tiny amounts. You'll still get crunch without the gut payback. Close behind, ultra-processed foods. Sugary cereals, packaged snacks, microwave meals, processed meats. Basically anything with an ingredient label that reads like a lab sheet. Emulsifiers, gums, artificial colors, and preservatives can irritate the gut lining, reduce microbial diversity, and leave you bloated yet undernourished because fiber's usually stripped out. A simple shift to one-ingredient staples, oats instead of frosted cereal, a quick stir-fry instead of a frozen entree, feeds the good guys in your microbiome with real fiber. Speaking of good guys, here's a quiet villain: added sugar. Not the sugar in a whole apple, but the refined stuff and high fructose corn syrup hiding in sauces, flavored yogurts, pastries, and drinks. Overdo it, and you're fertilizing the microbes that love sugar, pushing out beneficial strains and cranking up inflammation. That's why your sweet tooth can snowball and why your stomach puffs after a little treat. Become a label detective and trade mindless sweets for fruit, a square of dark chocolate, or yogurt you sweeten yourself with berries. Then we have the so-called healthy alternative: artificial sweeteners. For some people, they're fine. For others, they're a gas and bloat trigger because they can nudge the microbiome in the wrong direction. If diet sodas or sugar-free treats leave you crampy, try sparkling water with a splash of real juice, or test a small amount of stevia or monk fruit and see how your body responds. Your gut is personal. Pay attention to your signals. Red meat lands on this list not because it's evil, but because lots of it, especially processed versions like bacon and deli slices, can push your gut toward more inflammatory patterns. When your microbes process certain meat compounds, they can produce metabolites linked to inflammation. The fix isn't all or nothing, it's balance. Make red meat a sometimes food, bring in more lentils, beans, tofu, and rotate in salmon or sardines for those anti-inflammatory omega-3s your gut lining loves. High-fat dairy is another "it depends." For many people, heavy cream, rich ice cream, and full-fat cheeses can feel like a brick in the stomach, especially if lactose is an issue. Yet, fermented dairy like kefir and live culture yogurt can be a win because of their probiotics, and hard cheeses are often easier to tolerate. If dairy leaves you bloated, try a low-lactose option or a quality plant-based yogurt with live cultures and minimal gums. Alcohol is a direct gut irritant. It can inflame the stomach lining, mess with stomach acid, and disrupt the intestinal barrier when overdone. If reflux, nausea, or loose stools are your pattern after drinks, that's your body talking. Plan alcohol-free days, never drink on an empty stomach, hydrate 1-for-1 with water, and choose simpler serves to cut down on added sugars. Refined grains are next: white bread, white rice, most standard pastas and cereals. Refining strips away the fiber and nutrients, the exact parts your microbes need. Without fiber, transit slows, blood sugar spikes, and inflammation climbs. Swap to whole grains: oats, brown rice, quinoa, true whole wheat bread, and your gut flora get the steady prebiotic fuel that supports smoother digestion. Spicy foods are highly individual. If you're prone to reflux or a touchy stomach, capsaicin can irritate and slow gastric emptying, so acid sits around longer. If hot food sparks that familiar burn or next day discomfort, dial back the heat and play with flavor using cumin, coriander, turmeric, smoked paprika, garlic, and herbs. You'll keep the taste, lose the pain. Coffee lovers I know, don't shoot the messenger. Coffee's acidity and its effect on the lower esophageal sphincter can stir up reflux or cramping for some. If mornings are a sprint, or you get that hollow burn, try low-acid beans, smaller cups, drinking after food instead of on an empty stomach, or rotating in ginger or chamomile tea a few days a week. Citrus and tomato products can also flare reflux because of their acidity. If oranges, lemon water, or marinara on an empty stomach give you symptoms, pair them with a meal or switch to gentler fruits like bananas, melons, and pears while your system calms down. Gluten gets lots of blame. If you have celiac disease or a diagnosed non-celiac gluten sensitivity, gluten is absolutely a trigger, and you should work with your clinician. For everyone else, many gluten problems are actually refined grain problems: pastries, white breads, and crackers without fiber. Try high-fiber whole grain versions first and observe. If symptoms persist, talk to a professional before you self-restrict. Sugar alcohols, sorbitol, xylitol, erythritol show up in sugar-free gums, candies, and keto snacks. Because they're poorly absorbed, they cruise to the colon and become a buffet for gas-producing microbes. If your stomach balloons after guilt-free sweets, check the label and consider a small portion of the real thing instead. Here's a surprise for some: processed plant-based meats. Eating more plants is great. Ultra-processed plant products with long additive lists, not so much. Gums, thickeners, and flavor systems can bug sensitive guts, and you miss the fiber you'd get from whole foods. Build meals around beans, tempeh, lentils, mushrooms, and veggies. You'll get protein plus the prebiotic fibers your microbes crave. And finally, a quieter concern. Routine antibiotic use in agriculture can leave trace residues in some conventional meats and dairy. While your biggest microbiome disruptor is still prescribed antibiotics when you need them, long-term, low-level exposure from food is something many choose to minimize. If it's within reach, buy antibiotic-free or pasture-raised options more often and prioritize a plant-forward plate either way. Quick pause. If this is already connecting dots for you and you want a simple plan, we put together a free 7-day gut reset blueprint. It's a step-by-step guide with meal ideas, food lists, and daily routines to calm bloating, energize digestion, and feed your microbiome without detox gimmicks. Grab it from the link below. It's totally free and pairs perfectly with the swaps we're covering. Back to easy upgrades you can start today. If fried foods are your kryptonite, air fry sweet potato wedges or breaded chicken tenderloins brushed with a teaspoon of olive or avocado oil. Trade packaged snacks for nuts, seeds, carrots with hummus, or fruit plus yogurt, you sweeten yourself. Replace soda or diet soda with sparkling water plus a squeeze of citrus if tolerated, or a few crushed berries. Rotate red meat with bean chili, lentil tacos, or salmon bowls. Switch white bread to real whole grain, try oats for breakfast, and build at least one meal a day around plants. A big salad with beans, a grain bowl with veggies and tahini, or a stir-fry over brown rice. If coffee bites back, have your cup after breakfast, downsize the pour, or go low acid. Slide ginger, peppermint, or rooibos into the rotation. For dairy, test live culture yogurt or kefir in small amounts. If that still bloats you, a clean label plant yogurt with live cultures can be a friend. And if spicy is your love language but your gut disagrees, layer flavor without heat. Think garlic, onion, smoked paprika, oregano, basil, lemon zest. Remember, fiber plus fluids equals happy transit. As you increase fiber, increase water so everything keeps moving comfortably. And don't underestimate gentle post-meal movement. 10 minutes of walking can cut that brick in the belly feeling dramatically by helping peristalsis along. One more friendly reminder because your future self will thank you. If you want this mapped out for 7 days so you don't have to think about it, download the 7-day gut reset blueprint below. It's your no guesswork starting point. Simple meals, grocery list, and a rhythm your gut can actually relax into. Your gut doesn't need perfection, it needs consistency. When you feed the right microbes, protect your lining, and keep digestion moving, bloating eases, reflux calms, and energy climbs. Start with 1 or 2 swaps this week and stack from there. Your gut will tell you when you're on the right track. Less pressure, less puff, more comfort. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who's ready to feel better too. Subscribe and hit the bell for weekly, science-backed gut tips from Better Inside Daily. And don't forget to grab your free 7-day gut reset blueprint below so you can turn these ideas into results. Here's to a calmer, happier gut and a lighter, more energized you.